So, hi everyone. This is the fourth class of Unix programming. So, in the first two classes of this particular subject, I gave some basic insights about the subject, what you can expect from the subject, what is Unix, how Unix as an operating system is different from Windows, what are all the advantages we can gain from while using Unix operating system, and I also gave how Unix operating system works with the help of some examples. So in the last session, I covered Unix architecture or environment. It can also be called as Unix environment. It had three main parts. It had the user, it had the shell, it had the kernel, finally the hardware resources. I explained with a diagram how the actual process takes place. So before proceeding into this particular session, kindly watch all the previous three presentation session, then proceed with this particular presentation session. In this particular presentation session, we are going to discuss the features of Unix operating system. In my first two sessions only, I had already explained the two main features of Unix operating system, which were multi-user capability and multitasking capability. In this particular session, we shall see some more features of Unix operating system. So basically, what actually is Unix? It is an operating system. Since Unix is an operating system, it is bound to have what are all the features an operating system is expected to have. ಒಂದು ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Apart from that, there are also some extra features because Unix operating system also has some features which are not present in your Windows operating system, and those features play a major role because they are very much important when it comes to Unix operating system. In Unix operating system, we are having 7 main major features. The 7 main major features are as listed below. So what is the first feature? That is, your Unix is a multi-user system. The second one is your Unix supports multitasking. And also your Unix is built on an approach called as building block approach. We shall see in detail with respect to every features in the coming slides. Our fourth feature is Unix toolkit. Our fifth one is pattern matching. Sixth one is programming facility. And the last feature with respect to Unix operating system is documentation. So these are the 7 major features with respect to Unix operating system. Now we shall see each of the feature in greater detail. The first feature is multi-user system. What do you mean by a multi-user system? Your Unix operating system is a multi-programming system. What do you mean by multi-programming system? That means it will allow multiple programs to run simultaneously. Your CPU is capable of running only one program at a time, but you can run multiple programs simultaneously, which is to say that this happens very much quickly. Your multiple programs will keep running at the CPU in very minute fraction of seconds. You won't notice that minute fraction of seconds. This is what is called as multi-programming or multi-user capability. That means multiple programs can run simultaneously. Those multiple programs will be competing for the CPU. So your CPU picks upon the program one by one without the user even noticing it. ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ CPU ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಬರೋ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಯೂಸರ್ ಕೇಪಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅದ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಇನ್ 2 ways. First one is multiple users will be running one job. Imagine there are 4 users. A user A will be running job 1, user B will be running job 2, user C will be running job 3, user D will be running job 4. So all the users are running one job simultaneously. This constitutes to multi-programming. And also one more way is a single user can run multiple jobs. Imagine there is only one user who is called as user A. He is running 4 jobs, job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4. All these 4 jobs are getting executed simultaneously. So these are the 2 ways in which multi-programming can happen. So the first way is multiple users can run separate jobs, or a single user can run multiple jobs. So this is what is called as multi-programming. But what actually happens when we see in detail with respect to multi-programming? Actually, multi-programming ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, your computer or your CPU will break a unit of time, one single unit of time na several segments ಆಗಿ break ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. A single unit of time will be broke down into several segments. And each user will be allocated to a segment. One unit of time ಅಲ್ಲಿ several segments break ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದೊಂದು segment ನು ಒಂದೊಂದು user ಗೆ allocate ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So at any point of time, the machine will be doing the job of a single user. So ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಯೂಸರ್ ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ CPU ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಯೂಸರ್ ಜಾಬ್ ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಕೊಂಡು ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. This keeps on continuing until we reach one full circle. One full circle reach ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪುನಃ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So actually this happens very much quickly. You won't be noticing this getting happen. That means ನಿಮ್ ಕರ್ನಲ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, the kernel will keep on rotating. That is, in one single second ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಈ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, that will be done many number of times in one single second. So that's why users feel that their job is getting executed, but actually the kernel or the operating system is making sure that all the jobs are getting executed simultaneously. So this is how multi-programming actually takes place. How it happens? A single unit of time will be divided into multiple segments. Each segment will be given to a user. Prati ondu segment nu onondu user kodtini. Your kernel will do the job of one user at a time. Once the timer expires for that particular user, your kernel moves on to the next job or next user. This will complete one cycle, then it will start with the next cycle. But in a single second, it will complete the cycle many number of times. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಸಲ ಈ ಸೈಕಲ್ ನ ನಿಮ್ ಕರ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ ಕರ್ನಲ್ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ their job is the only job which is getting executed. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ ಜಾಬ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕರ್ನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಐತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆಲ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. This is how actually the multi-programming takes place. So this is the first feature and also the most important feature of your Unix operating system. That is, it supports multi-user capability, which is nothing but multi-programming. Multi-programming can happen in 2 ways. That is, multiple users can run separate jobs, or a single user can run multiple jobs. How it actually happens? With the help of that division of jobs. It takes place so quickly that user always feel that his job is the only job which is getting executed. This is called as multi-user system. And the next feature with respect to Unix operating system is multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? Here we won't be having the concept of multiple user. There will be a single user. That single user will be doing multiple tasks concurrently. So your Unix supports multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? A single user can edit a file. At the same time, he can use a printer to print a file. At the same time, he can send an email to a friend. At the same time, he can browse the internet. Without leaving any of the applications, he can perform all these tasks simultaneously, concurrently. This is what we call as multitasking. Whenever the user is doing multitasking, the user will see one job in the foreground, the rest of the jobs will be running in the background. So this is called as multitasking. The user can easily switch between jobs which is in foreground to that of the background. Foreground job in the background switch ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, background job in the foreground switch ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ you can even terminate them. You can even close those jobs. This is what is called as multitasking. Here you will be having a single user. That particular single user will be doing multiple tasks simultaneously, or I can say concurrently. What are the multiple tasks he can do? He can edit a file, he can send a file to printer, he can send email a file, even he can browse the internet. All the jobs will be getting executed concurrently, while one of the job will be in the foreground, the rest of the jobs will be executing in the background. You can easily switch between the foreground and background jobs. This is what is called as multitasking. So we covered the two features. The first one is multi-user system and the second one is multitasking system. The next feature we will see is building block approach. As the name itself suggests, we are building the blocks. What do I mean by building the blocks? Your Unix operating system was never packed with too many features. It was not an operating system with unlimited number of features. Your Unix operating system was a small operating system. It had only smaller number of features. As we can say, smaller number of feature is actually effective. It is actually beautiful. Then you can ask the question, if Unix operating system has only smaller number of feature, how it can become a powerful operating system? Your Unix operating system can become a powerful operating system because we can combine those smaller features to form bigger features. And also, because of those combination of different commands, we can get many other new commands. So this is how we can say that your Unix operating system is a powerful one. ಸೊ ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯೂಸರ್ಗೂ ಸಹ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಈಸಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ, ಕಲಿಯಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ he ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ those smaller number of feature, he can play along those number of commands, he can combine those commands so that new functionality gets evolved. So this is what has been explained here. The designer never attempted to pack many features. He used only smaller number of features and developed a few hundred commands, each of which performed one simple job. But what next happened? Unix offers a special functionality called as filters to combine various simple tools to carry out complex jobs. There is an option in Unix operating system called as filters. We can also call them as pipeline. First session or second section I explained with respect to pipeline. So using those filters or pipeline, I can combine the commands which will lead to a complex functionality. So we just have an example here. As you can see, cat is a command which is used to display the contents of a file. ಒಂದು ಫೈಲ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಫೈಲ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫೈಲ್ ಇಯರ್? ನೋಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮ್. ಈ ನೋಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಫೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಹಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Now I will be using one more command. What is that one more command? Word count ಅಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು command use ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. That means I am using cat command. What are all the contents inside cat command that I am giving as an input to word count. So the output of this particular cat note, welcome to it anta ಏನು output ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, this is given as an input to WC command. What your WC command does, it will count the number of lines in this particular input. It will count the number of words and also the characters, number of characters. Here we are having one line, that's why it is printing as 1. There are 3 words, that's why it is printing as 3. There are 15 characters, that's why it is printing as 15. This is how your word count actually works. Or I can say this is how actually you can combine commands with the help of a filter. This type of filter is called as a pipeline because you are joining these two commands with the help of a pipe. That's why it is called as a pipeline. So the output of this particular command will be given as input to WC. Then WC will count the number of lines, number of words, and also the number of characters. This is what we call as building block approach. Building block approach means your Unix operating system was never packed with many number of features. Rather, it had only smaller number of features. But to make it a powerful one, we combined many commands into a single command so that we can get complex functionality. This is one such example we can see where we are giving the output of cat command into word count command. So these are the 3 major features we covered. That is multi-user system, multitasking system, and the building block approach. Now we shall move on to the 4th feature, which is Unix toolkit. Your kernel is the main component in your Unix operating system. That is, the kernel is the core part of operating system. But apart from doing the activities we just discussed in the previous session, your kernel wants to do extra activities for the users. Your kernel is not having some extra additional capability which can be provided to users. So that's why your Unix operating system, it will provide some facility for the user to add and remove any extra application as and when required. The user can add many number of applications. So you can install many number of applications into the system. They are called as user created application or user defined application. They are not system application. Some of the application the user can add are some text manipulation tool. It can be Microsoft Word. It can be Notepad++. Some compilers. What is the use of a compiler? It will convert your higher level language to low level language, machine level language. What is the use of interpreter? It won't convert into machine level language. Rather, it will directly execute your higher level language. You can also add some networked application such as WhatsApp can be added, and also some system related administration tools. So your Unix toolkit is actually a platform. It is a kind of platform which is mainly used for the user. The user can add application as and when he requires. So if the user feels that he needs some application to be worked upon, then he can add the application by downloading it from the internet. So this is how your Unix toolkit actually works. This is mainly used in order to provide the user to add application as and when required for him. Some of the applications he can add are text manipulation tool, compiler, interpreters, some of the network related application such as chatting applications, WhatsApp, or any other Hike or any other chatting applications, etc. So these are the things you need to remember with respect to Unix toolkit. So far we covered 4 main features. So now we shall move on to the 5th feature, which is called as pattern matching. Your Unix operating system was packed with only smaller number of features, but we made into a complex one by combining many commands. Similarly, your pattern matching also makes your Unix operating system to become a complex one, or I can say to provide complex functionality. So actually your Unix operating system provide many advanced level, or I can say sophisticated pattern matching features. So compared to your counterpart, that is Windows operating system, your Unix operating system provides very much sophisticated, advanced pattern matching features. So these pattern matching features are very much helpful in order to implement complex functionalities. So we shall see an example so that you can get a clearer picture. As you can see, the star here indicates that zero or more occurrences of a particular character. So it can be used in many number of examples. So we shall see this particular example. What is the use of ls command? I had already explained in the second session. It is used to list the file details. So now I am asking the ls command to list all the files which have name by chap followed by zero or more occurrences. That means it should list all the files which are having chap. It can be just a chap. Apart from that, along with the chap, it can have any number of characters. That's why star indicates zero or more occurrences. ಬರೀ ಚಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇದ್ರು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಚಾಪ್ 1 lakh ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೂ ಆ ಫೈಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ನ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Because star indicates zero or more occurrences. This is a pattern. So you are giving a pattern in order to list all the files which have the first 4 letters as chap, and it can be succeeded by any number of characters. Even if there are no characters also, chap needs to be displayed. Even if there are characters also, they needs to get displayed. So your star indicates zero or more occurrences. So when I am listing all the files which has the first 4 characters as chap and remaining characters if there are present, it gave me 3 outputs. That is chap 01, chap 02, chap 03. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ನ ನೀವು ಯೂನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. You will get a greater detail about regular expression in the coming models, and also in your automata particular subject. In your automata subject, you will be dealing with regular expression. So this regular expression can be quite complex. So ಈ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನಾಲಿಟಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This particular command can do a lot more functionality than compared to without using any regular expression. So regular expression can also be used in your pattern matching. In regular expression saha pattern matching alli use ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So this is how pattern matching works. So pattern matching or your regular expression or any patterns will be used along with the commands. In this case, we are listing the files. So when we are listing the files, we are listing all the files which has first 4 characters as chap. Then it can be present with 0 or more occurrences. Character ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಚಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. This is how your pattern matching will work. So this is the 5th feature of your Unix operating system. The next feature is called as programming facility. So this programming facility is mainly to deal with your shell. Shell ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ನಿಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್. ನಾನು ಯೂಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ನಿಮ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದೇ ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಟು ಕರ್ನಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕರ್ನಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ದ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಜಾಬ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಶೆಲ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಯುವರ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ನಿಮ್ದು ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ C++ ತರ ಇದೆ, ಯುವರ್ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮರ್. It is not for the end user who is using the Unix operating system. ಆ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಶೆಲ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಲೂಪ್ಸ್, ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್, ಕಂಡೀಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ became a powerful programming language. Your Unix shell became a powerful programming language. So ಈ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ, ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮೈ ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಇನ್ವೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So your shell script or Unix shell is a programming language. With the help of that particular programming language, ನಂದು ಶೆಲ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕಾರ್ನ್ ಶೆಲ್, ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್, ಆ ಕಾರ್ನ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಅದು ಯುನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಎನಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದೋಸ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್. ನಾನೇ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಇನ್ವೋಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಆ ಶೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳು, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಯುನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ನಾನು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಶೆಲ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾನು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಇನ್ವೋಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಇಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಕೀ ಇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೀಬಹುದು ನನ್ನ ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So this is how actually the programming facility will help a lot. That means your Unix operating system is not limited. So if you are a powerful shell script programmer, you can keep on adding unlimited number of functionalities. The only thing is you need to make the necessary changes into your shell script. ಆ ಹೊಸ ಕಮಾಂಡ್, ಹೊಸ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ, ಹೊಸ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ವೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಬೇಕು, ಆ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ವೋಕ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಶೆಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ವಿಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ 6th feature of your Unix operating system. And the last feature of your Unix operating system is documentation. So whenever you purchase any products, there comes a documentation, there comes a manual. So without looking into the manual, it is very much difficult to go through the Unix operating system. Similarly, for every commands present in your Unix operating system, we can check the operations of those commands. ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ, ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಾಲಿಟಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. The name of that particular command is called as man command. I can say manual, man command. So using man command, you can check the functionality of any other command. You can also check the functionality of man command. Man command the functionality na man use ಮಾಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. So apart from the man command, you can also make use of internet in order to research with respect to Unix operating system. So that is what has been explained here. So the principal online help facility available is the man command, which remains the most important reference for command and their configuration files. So in order to check how all the different commands will work, how they will function, all different commands to functionality function na check ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ functionality operations na check ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅದರ configuration files ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ, ಅದರ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ I can make use of a command called as man command. Apart from this, you can also make use of internet, where you can find vast ocean of Unix resources available. This is the thing, these are the things I need to explain with respect to documentation. So these are the 7 major features with respect to Unix operating system and also This is an important question from exam point of view. So your Unix architecture slash environment, that is also important. Apart from that, this particular question, that is list and explain the features of Unix, that is also an important question from exam point of view. So in this particular session, we went through in detail with respect to the features of Unix operating system. There were 7 major features. They were multi-user system, multitasking system, the building block approach, Unix toolkit, pattern matching, programming facility, that is programming the shell script, and the last one is documentation, that is the man command and the internet. So watch this particular presentation session again and again. Still, if you are getting any doubts with respect to any of the presentation session, you could either call or ping me. Also maintain a class notes and write all the things shown in the presentation sessions. So far we covered 4 presentation sessions. In the first 2 presentation session, it was completely basics, and also we looked into the examples of some commands. In the third session, I covered Unix architecture slash environment. In the fourth session, I covered features of Unix. In the coming session, we shall deal with the next topics of module 1. Thank you.